I'm back. What is up, YouTube? I am Cosmic Fro, and today we are doing another tier list. Now, this tier list is my first tier list for year two, following the Ghostface patch. So, this is going to be a big one. November 19th, which was 2 days ago, we got Ghostface, and we got a bunch of balance changes that really shook up the meta. And while there is, little tech on the situations, I think from what we can gather, we can pinpoint sort of where these characters are going to lie and what it means for the current game plans, what it means for the game plans going forward, and how the meta is really going to look within the next 2 or 3 months, right? So, if you guys do enjoy this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is going to be a fun little tier list video for year two, finally, right? So, here we go. We're going to start with Scorpion. I think Scorpion is really, really good. I'm between A and S. If you have Pharah on Scorpion, you are still doing the same stuff as before, even though the low is -10, right? They have to be right next to you to punish that. And he's got some of the best neutral buttons in the game, right? Back 3, stand 2, and his jump 3 is very serviceable. Instant air teleport, jump 3, spear. You got neutral control. You can, outspace pretty much any character in the game and land 30 to 35% for those combos. Uh, Overall, I think Scorpion is one of the strongest neutral characters in the game and is really potent when he's walking back, right? Like when he's walking back, he's just soup. You don't want to approach Scorpion, right? Or you want to watch out for that back 3 and maybe jump on him, right? Very, very strong neutral presence. I just think maybe they need to add some sort of excitement to the character because he is kind of boring to play, right? So that's my only complaint about Scorpion. Aside from that, his standing in the meta is very strong. So Scorpion's going to be an S tier. We'll arrange this. We'll get our top 5 later down the line, but we're going to start with Scorpion in S tier because he is one of the strongest characters in the game when it comes to neutral control. All right, now Sub-Zero. I have a lot of experience with Sub-Zero. I am a former Sub-Zero player. I've moved on to noob, but I really do have he's in the arsenal, right? I haven't dropped Sub-Zero. He's still one of the characters I play and will compete with given the matchup. But this new patch that just dropped on the 19th, there were some very, very interesting changes. Sub-Zero, right? A lot of people looked at the changes and said, "Oh, this is huge. It's a lot of big buffs," and there were, right? There's a lot of big buffs to his mid-screen game. Now, this came at the cost of Sub-Zero's corner game, right? They made it so that he moved further away when you're calling clone, right? After, forward 1 or down 1 clone, right? Anytime you use clone, you're going to move further back away from the clone. And the cooldown on clone from when you call clone is 2 seconds longer than what it used to be, even if you're not using the meter burn clone, which I don't know if that was intentional, but now what that means is you're not able to loop, put them in loopable situations with, say, Sonya or, Kung Lao in the corner, which is really unfortunate because Sub-Zero's whole game plan before was that you wanted to carry them into the corner so that you could get them in this pseudo loopable mixed situations with Chameleon or Sonya, right? You wanted to keep them in the corner and just try and play that strike throw game that he was so good at when in that position. But now he can't do that. He can't loop those situations. What you can do now, though, is since it does last 30 frames longer, you can land it back 3 and they'll be hit into the clone with a little bit longer of a window. You could do it before, but now you're able to do it a little bit easier and with less predictability to it. You can still do the throw into clone and all of that, but now you're going to be playing strike throw to land the hit into clone now instead of trying to get the set play situations. Now, when you're mid-screen, he's very strong. They did buff his damage, which is what we've been asking for. Thank you, NetherRealm. Very serviceable buff for Sub-Zero. Any hit we get, we're going to get a lot more damage. And now that clone lasts longer, you can sort of lane them out much more effectively than you could before. And now the slide's a launcher. If you're playing Sonya and you have a full charge of Sonya Ring, you better watch out for slide because that's a full combo now, right? You have to respect the Sonya mid. It's going to come after slide and then it's safe. Or it launches if you get hit by the slide. So they have to respect slide. And it is a very strong tool. Overall, we're still discovering all the things that Sub-Zero can do. With the multiple freeze combos, right? We're still optimizing and figuring that stuff out. But it was a decent patch for Sub-Zero. I don't understand the clone change in the corner. Some wins, some loses for Sub-Zero. I can't say yet in what direction, but I'm going to keep Sub-Zero in A tier because he does play the lame zoning game much stronger than he did before, and that's sort of the playstyle I enjoyed playing. I don't understand the clone cooldown change for the base clone, not the meter burn clone, right? I understand increasing the cooldown for the clone on meter burn, right? It's 100 frames longer, so right, that's very strong, especially when you're using that in the air, right? They can't jump, but for the normal clone, it was a nerf overall. So little confused on that, but still a strong character. We're going to leave him in A tier. Now, Liu Kang. Liu Kang's an extremely strong character in MK1, always has been. He has a 6-frame jab punish, combo starter that can punish anything that's -7. So a lot of the string enders in the game, Liu Kang can punish, which is an extremely strong tool in itself. He has a very strong staggerable mid in his kicks. It seems to eat up most of the normals in the game when you're trying to contest with Liu, right? You don't want to run into those kicks. Very strong zoning game in his fireballs. The fireball department he's got a low one. He's got a mid one if you meter burn it and it goes through other projectiles. And then he's just got a fast fireball. He's got the air fireballs. And you can just keep laming with Movado. Now, personally, I think he's strong, but I don't think he's as strong as Sub. But he's A tier, right? He's going to be an A tier. I think Liu Kang's a strong character, but just doesn't lame out as well as some of the other characters like he kind of wants to do. He's sort of a hybrid character, right? Where he's going to throw fireballs. He's going to try and get his chip damage and make you come to him so that he can outspace you with his kick normals or punish you on anything that's 2-, right? And we're just talking base kit Liu. Overall, he is going to be an A tier character. All right, now Johnny Cage. So not much has changed. None of the health values have changed. They haven't really touched Johnny much, and he's still playing MK1 better than a lot of characters do. He's gonna try and enforce his plus frames. He's gonna stagger forward 3 and his stand 1. Right, you're gonna have to eat plus frames when you're fighting Johnny Cage, no matter what. His jump 3 is one of the strongest in the game. We all know what Johnny Cage can do. I'm not gonna spend too much time on Johnny. Still gets really good damage for the hits. He gets safe jump combos off his nut punch. And yeah, Johnny's just, he's going to be in the S tier for me. Even though you can wait for forward 3 and even though you can kind of see what's coming from Johnny Cage, you're still guessing. And the fact that Johnny can just enforce that is just extremely strong, right? So Johnny Cage is going to stay in S tier for me. Yeah. Now, Garrus. Garrus players would have you think he was here, right? Last patch. Now, last patch, I personally thought Garrus was here, right? He's a very, very strong character. Can lame you out, extremely effective. Effectively, he's got a 1-bar breaker if he's just stacking the clocks effectively and laming you out, right? We're seeing what Gur's doing. We see what Dom's doing, right, with sort of the aggro Garrus archetype where you're enforcing the plus frames, you're getting your teleport combos, and you're setting them up in these very scary 2-bar situations where, he's got 2 of him on screen just mixing you for your life. Add in a mid-command throw like this recent patch did, right? Garrus now has a mid-command throw that just makes his lane game even stronger. We're not talking about Garrus mid-command throw into Janet, which is now possible because it launches too. Like mid-command throw, it isn't just going to knock him on the floor. You can get a full combo from it on top of being able to, what you can do currently. Now the cameos you're going to use, I would say it's going to be Sonya and Lau, right? You're going to land the mid-command throw, you're going to have more advantage, and then you're going to set up Sonya, load your clocks, and you're going to just try and get your 1-bar breaker, right? Another thing is that they also extended Garrus's, his sort of like phase form, where he can kind of turn into this like ethereal form of himself. I don't remember what the move's called, but that now lasts much longer. I couldn't give you the exact value, but it lasts a lot longer. And so you can sort of walk down while you're charging these zoning cameos. You can walk down for longer and enforce a command throw, right? A mid-command throw, mind you. What a mid-command throw means is that you can't duck OS it. You can't duck it, right? You're going to have to hold north. You're going to have to jump it. That's literally the only option off a tick, right? So it's going to be extremely potent. I'm scared to see how many players pick up Garrus and start using this. I just, oh man, it's a scary time with Garrus the way he is currently. Kitana, yeah, this character's pretty busted, right? I mean, now they did just nerf the loopable setup in the corner with she could sort of throw you and launch you with the ground fans, right? I don't remember what the move's called, right? But they nerfed it so that if they try to throw you, you can armor it. The thing is that doesn't really matter because they can still meter you into it and they can still block your armor. So it's still sort of a two-way guess for Katana to then keep her turn, but at least she's not looping the throw for delay wake up or just wake up, right? Like that was pretty extreme. She can still do that vortex in different ways, right? If she gets the meaty, she can just set it up again, and then if you think she's gonna meet you, you're gonna block, right? You're gonna delay wake up, you're gonna block, you're gonna just wake up and block, right? And then she's gonna do the throw stuff. So, yeah, again, Katana back to one of the strongest neutral strings in the game. 1-1-2, into Sonya, right? I think Sonya is one of her strongest cameos at the moment. Sub-Zero is also very strong. Janet's very strong. Katana is very strong. So Katana's gonna be in the S tier for me. Movado very strong. S tier character. That's all I gotta say. Melina. We're gonna put her next to her sister. I think Melina is strong. Um, we'll arrange S tier at the end of the list, right? But I think Melina's really strong. She still gets the high damage. She's still doing all the anime stuff that she is known to do, right? I don't know if Subclone freezes her enhanced air ball, but again, her enhanced air ball, one of the best anti-zoning tools in the game. You can sort of instant air jump into air ball and convert for, a pretty sizable damage, like 30%, right? Which is insane. Chameleon, neutral control with Jade. Katana, throw combos on Chameleon, right? Is extremely strong. She's still one of the best neutral controlling characters in the game with her down one poke and her buttons just sort of extending pretty far out there. So when she does land the hit, she hits for high damage, and her ability to get the hit is just extremely strong. So not much has changed from Melina. She's still going to be in the S tier for me, just like before. Now Raiden. So they took away the brain dead stuff and they buffed Sector cameo, right? Raiden's a problem, kind of. Like when double sector missile is on the screen, you kind of have to guess. Back two is just an extremely strong neutral tool. If not that throw, and then you're gonna get comboed for pretty high damage. That is one of Raiden's strengths. He still gets really high damage and can convert pretty much off any touch. His forward advancing low string, very strong. He's got strong neutral tools. And for some reason, Raiden can still fly across the screen and be completely safe from most of the cast, right? Like if he's a little bit in a corner situation, if you're not playing Sub-Zero and you can't air clone, right? You can't stop him from just flying across the screen, right? You kind of have to sort of anticipate that with some sort of air move. And that's really the only counterplay, especially if he has Sector, right? Just call Sector Missile, and then how are you going to punish it, right? So Raiden has a lot of escape tools that are really annoying and high damage when he does land the hit. He can also get in with Sector whenever he wants, and for that reason, I'm going to put Raiden right now at the top of A tier with the characters currently. I think Raiden is extremely strong at the moment. I'm just not sure if Raiden breaks into the sort of S tier echelon of character yet, but he's still going to be able to kill those S tier characters given he gets the hit first, right? It's a snowball, right? Once Raiden lands the hit, he is a snowball character. So just don't get hit. that's or thrown, right, with double missile. Yeah. Now Kung Lao is strong. They just nerfed him a lot, right? Like they took away his safe armor. It's 2 bars now. They gave him really lame tools, right? His air hat, he's able to, armor spin away from pretty much anything. He's got the with Sonya cameo, he's got some of the lamest play in the game. He can still instant air dive kick and get in whenever he wants. And when he's up close in the corner, he can still mix you and launch you and do a ton of damage. So Kung Lao is a decent character. Yeah, I think he's a good character. I don't know if he's B tier. I don't think if there was an in between, he might be in between. But I'm gonna put him in A tier because I think Kung Lao's damage, and his lame game makes up for it. Right, you're still able to lame out a lot of the cast with the air hat, and normal hat. Right, his normal hat's always been good. So if you do land the hit, you're gonna get a lot of damage, and then uh, they have to come to you, and when they do, he's still got strong close-up tools to mix the opponent with when their turn's over, right? So I think Kung Lao's pretty strong. Now Smoke just got some really cool buffs, right? They just buffed his Vicious Vapors, which is his smoke dash, right? That you can cancel for cancel pressure. They just buffed that so you can do it in the air, and you can cancel it from moves in the air, like back to the overhead. That smoke that Smoke is known for. You can now cancel that into back 4-3 in the air Vicious Vapors, and then cancel that and sort of mix the opponent in those situations. Now, it used to be overhead. They patched it. It's a mid now. Not as good, right? But, you take what you can get. And I think that's still a very, very strong neutral tool for Smoke. Like, if you're in the air, right, it's the same concept with Homelander, where if you see them throw a projectile on the ground and you're in the air, you're gonna land a combo, which is insane, right? If you react, you're gonna get a full combo even though you're in the air. When before maybe you might just do down back four and cancel it, or just land the jump and then try and mix, right? Or do a jump attack, right? But now you can actually punish a lot of the cast for trying to lame you out if you're in the middle of a jump, which is extremely strong. It's an extremely strong neutral tool for Smoke. My prediction is we're going to be seeing a lot of sector cameo with Smoke because you can get the throw combo off the double missile, and you are getting the same stuff you could with, say, Cyrax, just not the meter drain stuff in the corner, right? But you are getting the same sort of combos off the normal Vicious Vapors on the ground with Sector. You're still landing high damaging combos, and you get the neutral control with Missile regardless. So I think Smoke's really strong. He's going to be an A tier. I'm not sure where in Liu Kang is sort of like a base, right? And I think he could be above that in terms of the Smoke Liu matchup. So I'm just gonna put him a little bit above Liu in the A tier for me personally. Now Baraka is sort of a victim to the power creep. I think Baraka saw some changes in season one, right, where they nerfed his movement speed, right? They nerfed what he was able to do with Cyrax, right? And that sort of brought the character down a bit, right? You're still able to get really good chip sequences with Kano. You have really long-reaching normals, but I think Baraka might need a little bit more to bring him up to how some of these characters are performing now. I think if you bring back Baraka's base movement speed, right, from season one, and maybe increase it a little bit more, right? You make him faster so that he could sort of out neutral with those long buttons. He might be better, but I think Baraka, for me personally, I think he's going to be in B tier, guys. I think Baraka is struggling a little bit in the current meta, and could use some help for sure. Move my mic up here, but Oscar just got some really interesting changes in the most recent patch. You can now switch between Heaven and Hell stances after any sword special move. So she can change between dark and light after sort of that launching move, get the dark on them, and switch back to light and sort of explode the purple orbs, right? Which is going to allow for more creative sequences with Astra that we've been sort of wanting to see, right? I think that was sort of the goal with NetherRealm, was to introduce more player agency and have more combo creativity, right? That's what fighting games are all about. You want to be able to express yourself through the art of comboing, through your tools and neutral, right? Just being able to express yourself more with Astra is a good thing. Now, not much has changed aside from that, right? We still have to see how the optimal combos, how the setups end up changing, how the block pressure changes now that you have the dark orbs mid combo, right? Because you can kind of you can explode them now, right? She's going to be an S tier. She is even stronger than she was before. I'm gonna put her in the rift between these two sisters because I think she has stronger neutral tools than Melina. And Serena just got buffed, so Serena's going to be giving Astra some more bar with that new move, which is really helpful for Astra, as that is sort of her best team. But yeah, I think Astra is one of the strongest characters in the game still. She just got a buff, and that's really, really scary, right? Now, Reptile. Reptile's another character that's sort of a victim to the power creep, right? I think the change with down back 4 was good. He can cancel it. He can, get the combos off stand 3 into forward 3 off the down back 4 cancel, right? Um, and is just really good with Movado, really good with Scorpion, lands for really high damage. Force Ball is a really good neutral tool. Um, Reptile's got a lot of strong tools. Really good lane game with Sonya as well. Good mix up with Sonya. But I think Reptile, like Baraka, still both very, very strong characters and can win in competitive settings. But Reptile is also just sort of not controlling the screen as much as some of these other characters, not playing the game as well as some of these other characters, right? You can still armor through Force Ball. You can still armor through some of the gaps. You can still flawless block some of the string enders for punishes, right? So I think Reptile is struggling a little bit and could use just a few changes to bring him up to what the current game is. Much like Baraka, these characters are both still very, very good. Don't let this fool you, right? Any of these characters could win a tournament or make top 8, but he's just not on the same level with some of the characters up here, and overall with matchups in the game just isn't winning a lot of them, right? Is even on a lot. So I think Reptile's gonna be down there. Kenshi. Where do we put Kenshi, guys? I think Kenshi is still gonna be in the upper echelon, right? He's still landing the hit. He's still gonna kill you when Sento's on the screen. Nothing has changed, right? Are you beating Kenshi? That's the real question. When you get hit, are you beating Kenshi? You got to be careful when you're fighting Kenshi. You got to use Scorpion Cameo to get rid of Sento if you can. You got to try and play the counterplay game. But Kenshi is he's playing big MK in a different. It's just landing the hit. That's the archetype that Kenshi is, right? And that's the way it's always going to be. Again, you can avoid those situations at all costs using some characters that are potent. He has potent matchups that aren't good for him, like Garrus, like Sub-Zero, right? I think Kenshi is still one of the stronger characters in the game, regardless of that. So he's gonna be an S tier for me. I don't think I need to explain that. Are you? Like what's the comeback, man? That's kind of what Kenshi is. So Ermac is one of the best characters in MK1. Some of the strongest neutral buttons in one of the farthest reaching instant mids in the game that you can cancel into a throw or into another mid or into a high that is staggerable. You can do the meter burn back 4-3 to enforce plus frames on those staggers. When you think they're going to try and guess on your cancel, you can just do the meter burn back 4-3 and then blow them up for a full combo. Even then you're still going to be this character is check, right? And when he lands the hit and he has a bar of meter and he's got full Janet, you are in trouble. You're going to eat 50% of your life. I remember maybe my last tier list I said he didn't have much damage. I stand corrected. Like this character is blowing you up anytime he touches you with a full Janet cameo. He gets throw combos off Janet. Which also makes his cancel game even more threatening. There's a few Ermac players I played online that's also using Ermac Scorpion. I want to give recognition to that because that is also a very, very strong strategy, right? You're getting high damage combos. You're able to anti-air with Scorpion if they want to jump at you. If you hit them with the down back 3 into far Scorpion, you get pretty much a full combo, right? So Ermac really, really strong. Can play with is very versatile. Can play with a lot of cameos in the game, and that's what NetherRealm wants, right? Like a lot of these characters that they buff up and make the S tier are really good because they can play with a majority of the cameos, or are really, really good with one in particular cameo. But usually, if they have a lot of utility with a lot of the cameos in the game, then they're going to be good. And Ermac's one of those characters. Obviously, you're going to use Janet, right? I think Janet's Ermac's best. You get mixed situations as well. If you're not going for the full damage on the combo, you get mixed situations with Janet. You get it's just his buttons are some of the best in the game. I don't need to explain this. I think everybody who plays against a good Ermac knows that this character is a problem at the highest level and can compete. It's really, really fun to watch Ermac as well. I think Ermac's one of the cooler characters they've designed for Mortal Kombat 1 and deserves that spot up there. But it's really, really strong, really, really hard to deal with. Li Mei, I think Li Mei is extremely, extremely strong in neutral when she's got Lantern in the sky. Her buttons, right? Her forward two, I think that's her mid. I think that's her mid. Don't quote me on that. That button is so strong. She gets a launcher off it now. She can just stagger it, check you with it. She's got good plus frames. She's got a 7-frame reversal with that meter burn up kick, right? That she can combo into Janet if she wanted to. She can use Frost Wall and then call a Lantern and sort of play, the projectile game, making you want to come to her instead of just being sort of trapped by Lee May and her normals in those situations. And anytime she hits you, she's going to hit you for 35 to 40, right? Maybe even 50 with some cameos like Scorpion. So Lee May, very, very strong character, but just not breaking the S tier for me yet. Extremely strong, right? Can win a tournament if played to her strengths effectively. Now, Rain is really strong, right? Those water normals reach pretty far, right? That down three, being able to take his turn and then cancel his combos, do the back three, right? If he hits you with back three, it's just a launcher because of, the new string that he got a few patches ago. His cancel advantage is even better than it was before, and he's got a pretty serviceable zoning game, considering. He also has a Kara cancel with his throw, right? So if you're playing Janet, you get throw combos with Rain as well, which is very, very strong in high-level MK. And he's able to stay away with Portal, right? Portal, a lot of people forget that Portal exists, right? You can enforce the plus frames when Portal's set up. You can teleport away when Portal's set up, and you can play lane with Sonya if you're playing that sort of team combination. Overall, Rain is an extremely strong character. I'm going to put Rain right up here, right next to Raiden. I think Rain can play at the highest level of MK. It just depends on the matchup for how effective he's going to be. But overall, his matchup chart's pretty good and does well against most of the cast. His tools are very strong, has a lot of utility, and works with a lot of the cameos. So is a very good character, just not doesn't have as much dirt as some of these other characters, right? You're playing around the cancel. You want to land the hit. You want to take your turn with down three and maybe get a throw combo with Janet. But aside from that, right, he's also got a really good jump three. We can't forget about that. Jump 3-2 into Janet, right? Really, really good. So Rain, strong character. Oh, man. I don't even know how to rank Shang. I'm going to be honest, guys. Like, this character is just good. Like, I'm going to put him above Lu just because of what I've encountered. But, yeah, I think Meterburn spikes on the young form, getting the buff it did. It was really, really helpful for Shang's sort of getaway game. His new buff where he's able to transform into the opponent's cameo, whatever cameo they're using, is insane, right? Like if they're using Sonya, you get a free overhead mix if you meter burn that cameo switch up move that Shang has, which is insane. Shang also has some of the strongest projectiles in the game, right? If he's jumping in old form, you just got to be careful. If he's in young form, he can throw triple fireball or just sort of harass you with fireball and some other projectiles, right? He's got air fireball with young as well. And his normals are serviceable. We're not going to say Shang has the best normals in the game, right? But I think Shang does have really serviceable normals. And depending on the matchup, depending what cameo they're using, Shang could be like up here, right? Like if they're using Pharah, like don't pick Pharah against Shang, pretty much. Like if you pick Pharah against Shang, you're in for a world of hurt against a good Shang player and that's really good with a lot of the meta characters, right? So just it depends on the matchup with Shang. I'm gonna put him like kind of like in the middle if I can. Yeah, overall, Shang Tsung, if you learn him, he's very, very scary. Oh geez, I started this video in daylight and now it's getting dark, right? Into the night with the tier list. Here we go. Natara, very good. I think there was a lot of upplay when she got her buffs, right? The dive kick change is insane, right? We're not going to downplay that. The dive kick change is insane. Spending the bar for a launching, safe airborne dive kick is ridiculous. Allows for a lot of neutral control. The only thing about Natara is that she's got really stubby normals aside from back four and her forward advancing mid. That's really it. Like, there's not a lot of mix situations you can do. You can fly up and try and do the best. But if you're playing against a player that can react against all of the mix, right? Even if you're using Chameleon, it can be hard to play Natara at the highest level, especially if you're fighting against, say, Sub-Zero or Noob Saibot, which we'll talk about later. But I think Natara is a good character, just not on the level of some of these other characters up here. I'm gonna go ahead and put Natara in A tier for now. I think she's got really high damage when she lands the hit. Is good with Pharah, good with a lot of characters, but or excuse me, is good with a few cameos, right? Chameleon, Pharah, Goro. If you fought, if you guys have fought Natara Goro in Combat League, you know who I'm talking about. It's a very strong team. So Natara's good. Can compete, can potentially win a tournament if played to the extreme. Quan Chi, let's stop with the downplay. He's not bottom Quan, right? Quan Chi's good. Quan Chi, he's got a lot of tools, able to zone you out. He's got a lot of good neutral tools. You just don't want to let the opponent get in, right? You can use Bone Cage, which is unblockable, right? They have to respect Bone Cage. And you really can just zone them out. Say Serena just got her buff, right? So you're going to be able to harass more with Serena and the bar that she's giving Quan. Off stand 4 into Serena, right? You also got teams like Quan, Tremor, where you can, do stand 4, teleport from the ground, get a full combo into Tremor, and then, you're hitting for 40. They're back to full screen. You play your zoning game. Voila, right? Very strong with Sector. He's good with Sub-Zero, too. He's got a lot of cameo diversity, even though he's a little bit lower than some of these other characters because of just the way his pokes work. And the game is just not good, right? Aside from that, if he does land the poke, he gets Armor Portal up, can control your offense. Like, you have to play Quan Chi's game if you're under Armor Portal. If you're trying to play around Quan, you want to try and get away from Portal, right? That means if you're going back, watch out for stand 4, right? You move back or you jump over Quan to get, over the portal. If he's ready for it, he's going to anti-air you. There's a lot of mind games with Quan you have to be ready for. And for that reason, Quan's just not like up here. But he does have very potent situations. He can put you in, he can drain your meter, and play a very lame game if he chooses to do so. Now, Havoc. I think the last time I made a tier list, Havoc was down here. Now, Havoc has sort of like jumped up here. Yeah, Havoc's extremely strong right now. I think Havoc, when he lands the hit, he's going to hit you for 40, and then he's going to do some strings. He's going to 50-50 you into another hit, into death, pretty much. If he has the next snap available, you're eating guaranteed damage. It's just you're eating half of your life bar and then some. It's more than half of your life bar when you get hit by Havoc. It's like 60% if he does a meter burner, right? And I think they did remove that, right? They removed the meter burn next snap in the most recent patch. It's still guaranteed damage. He's still gonna 2-touch you pretty much. He's got a pretty serviceable zoning game with the blood balls, right? His down 4, one of the strongest down 4s in the game. And yeah, he made it past the down players. He is now one of the strongest characters in the game. He's got a faster armor attack. He's got 2 armor attacks now, and one of them eats 4 hits, right? 4 hits. So yeah, of course we'll arrange S tier later, but I'm gonna put him right there at the top 4 now. Now Reiko, yeah, Reiko's S. Like he's been the same for a while. And in the most recent patch, they made his forward 2 overhead launch. So now you're able to get launching combos off of that situation where he can throw you. If you try to duck punish the throw, he can do his mid string into 35-40%. And now he has the option to land his overhead for a full combo, which is crazy, right? You can do back 2 for plus frames or the overhead or the command throw. It's just insane, right? When Reiko's up close. On top of that, he's got the best projectile in the game, pretty much, right? Throwing stars, not much has changed. It still beats a lot of the things, a lot of projectiles in the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Reiko, man, where are we gonna put Reiko? I think Reiko's probably better than Johnny. I don't know. I would say these two are like interchangeable. They're like they're up there together. Sindel is S tier. Yeah, Sindel's S tier. I think Sindel, the power creep is also getting to her, but she's still up there. I don't think they need to do anything to her. I think Sindel has a lot of combo creativity, has fun, mixed situations, and has some of the best neutral control in the game with her strong projectiles, air projectiles, her scream being able to convert. Her convertibility is some of the best in the game, much like Melina. and she gets high damage. So Sindel, nothing changed. She's still going to be an S tier. All right, Shao Kahn, here we go. You guys ready? Now, I myself, I think Shao Kahn is a very strong character, right? He's got pretty good neutral tools and can make top eights just like these characters here. Right. We're looking at the facts, right? Shao Kahn can compete. Shao Kahn will mix you if he has Kung Lao and he puts you in those situations with Chameleon, right? Very versatile cameo. But I think Shao Kahn, while he does have those strengths, has some really bad matchups that just make it uh, hard to make it to those top eights, right? Your path has to kind of be perfect, and otherwise you're just not going to make it there, right? He gets outzoned, he gets lamed out by a lot of characters, and that's just one of the weaknesses of Shao Kahn, right? He does have a mid, but it's not that great, and even though his high reaches pretty far, it just gets poked on a lot. So I think Shao Kahn, he's going to be at the top of B tier for me. But and could maybe use some love in the command throw department, right? But I think he can still win tournaments. He's still a very good character. But we're not going to downplay. Shao Kahn is going to be at the top of B tier for me, and that's about it. Now Tanya, I don't think Tanya's the worst character in the game. She can still enforce that armor if she's got buff on. She can still play a really strong neutral game. But I don't think Tanya is up here like she used to be, right? Her armor was just insane, right? Like that move was uh so annoying to deal with. And now that she received the nerf, she's going to be in this position right here, I think, around where Natara and Kung Lao are. She can still compete. She can still harass you with forward two, finish the string into Movado. But she's just not where she used to be. And so I think Tanya could maybe use some love. I think she does have creative ways to land the hit and get combos. It's just harder for her. She can't play as ignorant anymore, right? And that really hurt her. In my honest opinion, I can deal with Tanya a lot easier now. So for that reason, I'm gonna put Tanya in A tier. No particular. I'm gonna put her like around here, right? Like this area. Yeah, I think she's still good, but just got nerfed pretty hard. So that's why we're gonna bring her down. Still a very strong character. Yeah, that's where we're gonna have Tanya. Now Peacemaker, he might be at the bottom of the tier list, and technically considered the worst in the game. But again, these characters, they can all play and compete with these characters. Yeah, we're not gonna downplay too hard for Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker's got strong tools. I think his mid is still really strong. Force field, it can still absorb projectiles. He can still play a counter zoning game like more than most of the cast. He can push them off if he uses the meter burn force field, and he's got high damaging combos with the bubble. He can also, if he knows you're gonna jump, he can do the sort of whistle, right? Whatever the poison dart, right? The dart. He can use the dart to sort of play around, jumping players that want to get around his zoning game with the pistol and Eagly and some of the more harassment focused cameos. But aside from the mid, I think Peacemaker has some stubby normals. I think it is easy to counterplay some of the zoning options that he has. Like if he uses Eagly, he can't do double Eagly anymore, right? So you can just block Eagly in advance, and you just gotta watch out for pistol and dart. And at that point, you're just playing around that mid. So it's pretty predictable. It's not necessarily a bad thing that's the case. But I think Peacemaker could use some love up close, right? Like I think he's got really good zoning options, but I think up close, like maybe we could increase the range of some of those stubby normal, or maybe we could help his frame advantage. But that's about it, right? I think Peacemaker is going to be at the bottom of the tier list for me personally at the moment. And Peacemaker didn't get anything in the patch, right? So Peacemaker is at the bottom. Sector's insane, guys. Sector is insane. I think Sector is going to be like right there. Yeah, I think Sector's one of the best characters in Mortal Kombat 1. Some of the lamest, a really good zoning game. can do the air missile into Movado and then combo you for 30% off any missile. If you're doing it the missile instant air, you are recovering before they can even get the punish or even reach you, right? So you are able to harass them constantly with the instant air missile into Movado. If you hit them once, with missile, they're gonna eat damage, and then you go back to your lame sort of zoning game. She's got really good buttons. Her back 3 string, back 3-4, I believe, is -6, which is insane. Her 1-1 is one of the best 1-1s in the game. It's forward advancing and is fast, right? I believe it's 7 frames. It's fast and forward advancing, so it'll catch people. She does have an overhead, and she can get a combo launch from air confirms too. So on top of having sort of the sort of fake out stuff with her instant air missile, or sort of using the thruster into a missile, playing neutral in the air with that missile and Movado, you can get a lot of damage on the board by just having them block that missile. And if they get hit, they take a lot of damage. You can also play it with Motaro and do the ignorant sort of armor move into teleport, and then you're across the screen, sort of like Liu Kang, right? It's similar to Liu Kang's strategy. She also has a shield that can absorb projectiles, and then she can shoot another projectile instantly back. So let's say you're using Sonya, right? If they want to counter zone you, they can. You can call Sonya, you can get it in front of Sonya, and then if they want to throw a projectile, you counter it, throw a missile, Sonya shoots her ring, and then you keep harassing, which is another extremely effective way to play Sector. She's very versatile, can play with a lot of cameos, has high damage, and has good buttons. So she is going to be in the S tier for me, and she's like MK9 Cabal, kind of like Hellboy. It's crazy. She's very cool. She's a very cool character. Now, I think Cyrax is on the other end of the spectrum, where she is very, very strong with one cameo, and that cameo being Sector. Obviously, you can still play with Sub-Zero, right? You can play with a lot of cameos and, get really good stuff. You can play Cyrax even if you wanted to, but I think Cyrax's strongest team is Cyrax Sector, and it's very clear why. You're able to get 3 mixed situations off double missile that you have to react to, and if you miss or if you mess up your reaction, if you even if they hit you, you're going to be in another mixed situation for your life when there's a bomb there, right? You have to guess the throw, or you have to guess the strike, and if either of those hit, you're eating another one of those situations. If Cyrax has double missile, she can almost near guarantee that situation. There are different timings too, so you have to be ready for every single setup that she throws your way. And even then, like she could just play neutral, have you block the setup, and then she has she can constantly throw a not a net, but it's like the goop, right? She can constantly throw that projectile at you and make you, think about pressing your buttons before coming in, which is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why Cyrax, doesn't have a cooldown or anything with that sort of neutral controlling projectile that combos, full combos on hit. Now, it is a high. It's very slow traveling, but if they press a button, they're dying pretty much if she has full Sector cameo. So yeah, you have to be ready for those situations. You have to be, very, very prepared for Cyrax, and you have to play that matchup multiple times before you even get a grasp on, what situations she's trying to put you in, the different kinds of situations she's putting you in, and her buttons are very good, right? She's got a high string that is really forward advancing, that catches a lot of people, right? She's got the kick string that is also very good when you're trying to check the opponent. And she has the armor breaking buzzsaw that just sort of keeps you in those situations if you're trying to armor out of bomb after you block if you're trying to armor out of missile after you block bomb. So yeah, Cyrax for me is going to be up here. I think Cyrax is right up there for me, and is one of the best characters in MK1 at the moment. Here we go, guys. Homelander, you ready? He's still good. I don't think the forward 4 nerf was too much of a detriment to Homelander's game plan. Yes, he lost the mix, right? He lost the float into down, the forward 4 mix that he had in the corner. But that was never really the utility. It's sort of like Scorpion's back 3, where they nerfed it to be a mid. It's the same concept, right? Except you're just using it as like a neutral tool now, which is still extremely strong. He still has the same damage. He still has command grab into Farah. He still has air laser in neutral and to Farah. He is still hitting you for high damage. If you whiff a button in neutral and he's in the air, he's still gonna dive down and hit you, for 35 to 40%. So Homelander is still extremely strong. Still really strong projectiles in the lasers as well, able to chip you out. Yeah, I don't think Homelander uh, is necessarily an A tier. Okay, I think he's got a lot of tools that still make him a neutral monster, right? You have to be ready for the command throw, and that laser is still fast, so you're still gonna get hit. Okay, so yeah, even though Homelander's not top one anymore, he's still gonna be in the higher echelon of characters in the game, right? And it's gonna be an S tier for me, still at the moment. Now, the thing about Omni-Man that makes him so strong isn't necessarily like any sort of mix, right? It's just his synergies with cameos and the situations he puts you in, right? So if he's using Jax, he can use the unblockable Jax into his sort of fly for a combo, um, which is insane, right? That's really strong. If Omni-Man, uses his down back three with unblockable Jax, it's also pretty insane. I think Jax is one of Omni-Man's best cameos. I think Sonya is one of Omni-Man's best cameos. And when Omni-Man lands a hit, he gets a lot of damage. He's got really good convertibility as well. His jump three is one of the best in the game. He can land jump three, air dash, and get a lot of damage off that. Yeah, he's a very hard-hitting character that has really good neutral control. His EX slap, destroying projectiles and going as far as it does, is also ridiculous. And he can also just enforce the plus frames off 1-2. So, yeah, Omni-Man, really good mid. His forward 2, it launches, but that's not necessarily a crazy change for him. It's what he's always been able to do that is so strong. So for that reason, I'm gonna put Omni-Man like up here. I think Omni-Man's still one of the better characters in the game, and can win a tournament if if those players would come out. Now Takeda is strong. He's got a demon factor whenever he does land the hit. Back two it will catch you sometimes. Back three, anything where he's gonna combo. He's gonna land a lot of damage for it, and that's sort of the strength of Takeda. He's gonna hit you, and then he's gonna hit you for a lot of damage, which is really good. Really good neutral buttons, right? Back two, forward two. Back three is also a forward advancing low. And when Kunai is on the ground, he also gets throw combos regardless of the cameo, which is really good. Sector, I believe, allows him to get 50-50s when set up in the right situation. So it's like Cyrax, where Sector is his best cameo, but he isn't as potent, nearly as potent as Cyrax. He can decide to snowball and try and mix you with Sector, or just cash out and get the damage. And his projectile game isn't weak. Like he can hit you with that low projectile and just keep harassing you with that until you want to come in, and then he can hit you with his long reaching normals. So, but I think Takeda's like right around here, right? So I'm gonna put him behind Quan. I think he's right there. Like with Natara. I think Natara might be above Takeda. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, Noob Saibot. So Noob Saibot is the character I've been playing the most since the patch. Ghostface obviously just came out, so I've been playing a lot of Ghostface. I love the character so far. Having a lot of fun with Ghostface. But Noob Saibot is sort of the competitive character I've been playing. And yeah, he's really strong, guys. Noob Saibot is very strong at the moment. I think Noob Saibot has some of the strongest zoning tools in the game. Has a lot of combo creativity. Can confirm off of pretty much any hit into teleport for high damage with a lot of the cameos on the cast. So he hits really hard. He's got the demon factor that Takeda has with damage. He's got some of the strongest zoning tools in the game. He's got the air sort of straight clone that can hit them. He's got the low clone that can check them in neutral, and then his back forward three, being able to combo in neutral, is also extremely strong, but punishable when you're sort of mid screen. They can punish that. High damage, really good ways to get that hit for the damage. And another factor that Noob sort of has that a lot of characters don't is that he can set up the green goo on you, right? Whenever he gets his ghost ball on you, he can decide to blow it up and controls neutral while it's on you in a way, right? So that in itself is extremely strong. His low, being able to jail off his stand one, will catch a lot of people. He gets throw combos with Janet if you choose to use that cameo. Um, Really, really strong zoning game with Sonya, which is sort of the variation I play. And then he has a very, very strong convertibility game with Movado. Extremely fun character to play. Probably the best designed character I've ever seen NetherRealm create. I'm gonna be honest. I think Noob Saibot is fantastic. Just a very, very strong and fun character to watch. Right. Regardless who's playing him. And yeah, he's gonna be in the top 5. He also has that loopable situation out the overhead. By the way, let's talk about it. 20 frames and it's -4 on block. Very, very strong tool to use. And now that it has that sort of launch factor, you can get launching combos with Janet from it. So that is sort of a new tool we're investigating with Noob. We're not sure if it's fully a buff yet. The hard knockdown was really, really strong for the zoning game, right? That I could enforce with Sonya, but it's also good for the the loopable situations you can do with Janet, say in the corner. So, Noob Saibot, very, very fun character to play, very fun character to watch, and very high skill ceiling. It's not the easiest thing to play this character. So I think Noob Saibot sort of is amazing, right? One of the best characters NetherRealm's ever created, as I said, and is in the top 5 range for me. Ghostface. I've been playing a lot of Ghostface. Okay. I've seen multiple different variations with this character, different strategies you can use. And while he's extremely, extremely strong in some departments, he also has glaring weaknesses in others. I think Ghostface has one of the strongest mids in the game. The back three, very, very fast mid, and also restands, right? So if they're in a juggle, you can restand them. And Ghostface also has a mid command throw when he meter burns his command throw. So, you can get some command throw combos with, say, Scorpion, if you choose to run that team variation. You can also get combos off of your sweep like Reptile and Movado. With Ghostface, right? You're going to do back 4 into Movado. You can also enforce mixed situations with Ghostface off the back forward 3 after the restand, right? You can do, say, a string, stagger it, and then do an overhead or low into Movado or into a combo launch like Sonya, right? You can do some really, really cool mixed situations with Ghostface. Incorporating his command throw into that as well. I also think he's got a really, really strong tool in his back forward 4. Now, not the regular, just, you call your, that's where you call your friend, right? And he stabs him from the other side of the screen. That by itself isn't strong, but when you meter burner, right? When you hold LB or LT while you're calling that, or L1 or L2, right? And end up on the other side of them. So you really can't escape Ghostface, right? And that's really strong. Now his weaknesses, right? When he is in another Ghostface, when he's in another form of Ghostface, his way in isn't necessarily the best, right? Like you don't have a projectile unless you're an assassin, and there's no way to cover that weakness except for teleporting. When you're in another form of Ghostface, the only way to get out of it is to say do down back 3 and cancel it, right? Or do a throw, right? Otherwise, you're gonna end up with them having their turn. So that is a glaring weakness of Ghostface. Aside from that, really, really strong mids, really good damage. Reset, a combo restand for a reset mix situation that you can sort of loop, right? Which is insane. So Ghostface at the moment, I think is going to be like up here. I think he's really strong. He's going to be an A tier. A lot of people are using him. It's kind of where I predicted Ghostface would be. A lot of people are playing him, but I think Ghostface is going to be like right around here. I think he's very, very strong. Can win a tournament. And in certain situations is playing competitive MK. So all right. So yeah, let's rearrange and see how we're looking here. We got Havoc. We got Garrus right here. Okay, let's put Noob. I think Ermac. Okay. Is Garrus better than Cyrax? I don't know. It's too new, but I know. He is yeah. Put him there for now. Yep, that looks good to me. So we got our top 5 right here. In my personal opinion, of course. Let's move on to the A tier. Let's see here. Yeah, I really like the look of A tier and B tier. We're good, guys. This is the base roster right here. We're gonna move on to cameos. Here we go. I think Sub-Zero has a lot of utility, is useful with a lot of the cast, and well, the main thing is right. You can completely nullify projectiles. He also has the combo extender off the sort of fast strings like 1-1 for some characters. Also has the reversal freeze, so that is another useful tool that Sub-Zero got in a sort of recent patch. Overall, I think he's useful with a lot of the cast, and the utility to nullify projectiles is a very strong one. So in certain matchups, I think Sub-Zero is very, very strong, and that's why I'm going to put him in A tier. Useful with pretty much everybody. All right, I think Scorpion is an S tier cameo. I think Scorpion allows for high damage with pretty much everybody on the cast. So if you land a hit, you're going to get high damage with Scorpion. He also has the overhead that is safe if they don't up-block it right. He has the overhead, which is extremely strong for just catching them off guard and neutral sometimes even. And he has the back spear to get you away. He also has that new flame buff where say you land a command throw and you use flame buff for a combo, you will hit them for a lot of damage. So yeah, that's really strong. Utility in being able to anti-air people with the different ranges of the Hellfire breath. You're able to anti-air or do sort of air confirms with some of your projectiles, with say like Ermac, right? You can do a lot with this cameo with every character in the game, and just being able to get damage like that, being able to get away from Kenshi, being able to disable Sento, being able to counterplay. A lot of characters is, in my opinion, going to put Scorpion in S tier. Yeah. Now Jax, I think Jax is really good. He's got the unblockable setups with some characters like Omni-Man, like Katana, right? You got some cool setups with Jax that you can enforce. He also stays on screen if they don't get hit, so it's just a constant sort of pressure situation. And that punch on block is now plus, which is really useful. Combo extender and his gotcha grab. He has a new cameo move where if you call a cameo, Jax will come on screen and gotcha grab the opponent's cameo and do a lot of damage while that's happening. So I think Jax is going to be an A tier. I think a lot of people aren't using the gotcha grab on cameos as much as they should. Yeah, I think there's still some untapped utility with Jax, but he's going to be an A tier. All right, so Sonya cameo, I think, is one of the best cameos in MK1. Is usable with literally everybody on the cast. Is a fast cooldown mid projectile that you can throw. I think it's the fastest cooldown for a cameo move in the game. Is Sonya's mid projectile that she throws out there. She also has a really potent plus on block overhead that pushes them away, right? Which is really, really strong, and launches for a combo. So in context, that is a very, very strong tool when you're trying to mix with string ender lows into Sonya's overhead for a launch, right? So very, very strong. You can stagger pressure with Sonya mid ring and be plus on block, or armor break on knockdown, and then or armor break off of a Oki situation where you call Sonya, and then if they want to armor on their wake up, you let go early and press a button at the same time. You'll break their armor and get a full combo for it. Square wave, obvious combo extender, very, very useful, and the cooldown isn't too bad, right? It's sort of like Mavado's cooldown as far as a combo launcher goes, and it does decent damage. And then she also has her dive kick, where you can sort of play neutral and just throw her out with the dive kick to catch them sometimes. So her mid projectile alone is going to shoot her up here, and she's also got other utility. She is personally like top 3 cameos in the game. I think one of the best choices you can pick when you're trying to figure out a new character. So Sonya is always going to be strong and is one of the best cameos in MK1. Had to take a break to get up some water. I was losing my voice a little. Kung Lao. Let's put Kung Lao. I think Kung Lao is going to go right here. I think Kung Lao, yeah. Very strong cameo, just not as, good. Doesn't have as good of a cooldown as Sonya. You can jump and block the Lao Lo projectile, but Kung Lao does allow characters like Sindel and Ermac to get sort of mixed situations off of Oki. So I think Kung Lao can provide mix, gets teleport combos with say Garrus, freeze time Garrus, right? Some utility. There's a lot of things that Kung Lao does that is really really strong. Throw combos, right? But overall, just isn't in the sort of S area, right? Still very very strong. When you have a traveling low projectile, that is always going to be strong. So Kung Lao is going to be an A tier. Frost. So they just buffed Frost, Wall, and the Ice Crash, where Ice Crash is now an ambush move, and when you land the hit into Ice Crash while Ice Wall is up, you can launch them, which is the buff, right? Overall, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be when Ice Wall's already up and you still have half a cameo. Do you want to use that half a cameo to just break the wall and get a combo extender? I don't know. Overall, I still think Frost Orb and Frost Wall are her strongest moves. Frost Wall just able to keep them in neutral, keep them in a situation with, say, Li Mei, where you can throw Lantern in the air and then you can just sort of keep them in that strike throw situation. Yeah, Frost for me right now just isn't that great. We're gonna have to wait and see if anybody figures out uh, what to do with Frost Orb, because I did buff Frost Orb. And it could still be a threat, but I just haven't seen it. She's gonna be down here for me personally. All right, Striker's still the worst cameo in the game. It's the cooldown. That's really it. They buffed grenades to be more. They launch a little bit better, and you get better combo extenders off grenade. But yeah, it just isn't great, right? Like you're going to be using other cameos to enforce that pressure. The meta has evolved, and Striker's been left behind, right? We got to bring Striker back somehow. Maybe reduce the cooldown on the restand with handcuffs, right? So we can get restand situations with a lot of the cast. Look in other areas except for the mid grenade, because I think that's where the strength is. Maybe you give him a fast cooldown on his, like Sonya, right, with his overhead and low, so you can just constantly keep them in the mix, right? I think Striker has potential. There's a lot of potential for Striker and Frost, right? I'm not knocking Frost out, but yeah, I think Striker is just the worst cameo in the game at the moment, and doesn't have a lot of utility at the moment. Shujinko, on the other hand, is a very very good cameo. I would say in the right situations, Shujinko would be like an S tier cameo. Others not as good, right? So I'm gonna put Shujinko right here. He also just has a combo extender now off any hit, like Sub-Zero, right? Which is really good. And after the combo extender can, do his charge and steal their moves, all the while. Gives you plus 100 health as well, so that is also not something to forget, right? Plus 100 health is insane, right? That's 10%. So Shujinko, very very useful cameo, and when you experiment, when you lab with Shujinko in certain matchups like Kenshi, you can get some really crazy stuff. Quan Chi, right, with kick into bone cage, you get some really crazy stuff. Okay, Motaro. I think Motaro's a really, really strong cameo in MK1. Can enforce the plus frames off the low projectile, and has the teleport to get away, the teleport utility for a lot of the cast to get away and play the lane game. Very strong with Liu Kang, very strong with Tanya, very strong with Quan Chi. If you guys have played that team, it's a very strong team. And is just one of the better cameos in the game, in my opinion. Right, you get the plus frames and the ability to do teleport combos with Garrus as well. Right, very very strong Garrus. So very strong with some characters on the cast, and is usable with all of the cast. So it's going to be an S tier cameo for me. Darius as well. I don't think enough people use Darius. I don't think he's in the S tier, but with some characters is very very potent. Can get extremely strong mixed situations with, say, Sub-Zero, with, say, Raiden, with Smoke. So I think there's a lot to investigate still with Darius. I think a lot of players still gravitate towards the more meta picks and just sort of leave Darius behind. But Darius in some matchups might be the answer, right? So very strong cameo. I'm gonna put him in A tier, right up here with Shujinko. Very very good cameo. Serena is an S tier cameo. She also just got a buff where she has the ability to give you bar now. Her cooldown on her little scythe throw is very good, and then the double scythe throw, being able to full combo and keep unsafe moves sort of safe whenever she throws out the side. They can only poke out of it, right? So they don't really get too much of a turn from it. Is very very good. So Serena S tier cameo, full combos for the whole cast. Can drain meter when they're knocked down, and can give you bar when, say, you're full screen or, you're just trying to harass them. Goro is also an A tier cameo. I think Goro is one of the strongest cameos in the game, but just isn't in that S tier uh, echelon, right? It's just a cooldown, really, but all the tools that Goro provides is just really strong. Combo conversions, able to keep your combo string safe. Yeah, just really good. They just help the cooldown on his low throw, his low grab, I believe. So yeah, Goro, really strong A tier cameo. Kano, I think Kano is at the top of A. It's sort of like the what I like to call like sort of the base for what you want to balance your cameos around. I think Kano is just that, right? He has the chargeable mid Kano ball that they can't really do anything about unless they sort of hit Kano out of it. He has Kano Knives, which gives you like a free jump in and combo conversions, and then he also has Eye Laser now, which just got buffed in the last patch where it does a lot of chip on block and sort of pushes them back. The cooldown on it's not that great, but who's to say it's still not a useful like round closing tool, right? So Kano, very very strong cameo and sort of the baseline for what makes a cameo strong in MK1, sort of the idea of what cameos are. Cyrax is very good. Right up here with Goro and Kano. Gets combo extenders with the helicopter. Net being able to drain meter in some combo conversions is absolutely ridiculous. You're able to just keep them from being able to break in the corner and keep doing your set play things that you would do with Cyrax, right? You can also do throw combos into bomb. You can move Cyrax, the Sento Cyrax move around with the bomb, right? While you're blocking and have them hit the bomb, and then they have to stop the pressure, right? So I think it's a really good defensive cameo and a really good combo extending cameo as well. You can play set play with him. Lots of utility, just like you have utility with Goro in specific situations, right? So these two are sort of interchangeable. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave him like right up here. Sector is just like we predicted, is one of the best cameos in the game. Is able to just a sector missile by itself just controls neutral. So you have to play their game whenever sector missile's on the screen. Double sector missile, able to land throw combos with most of the cast. If you call it before you throw, you get sort of free combos with sector missile. Double sector missile, which is the whole cameo bar, right? You got a restand with the flamethrower. And now he has one of the best fatal blow engagers in the game because it tracks and it goes through every projectile in the game. It is ridiculous. The sector fatal blow starter. That thing is insane. But double missile tracking is insane. What you're doing with Raiden, what you're doing with Cyrax, what you're doing with pretty much anybody on the cast. If you wanted to do it, Smoke, right? It's making these game plans like near S tier, right? And for Cyrax especially, right? And Sector is just it's good with a lot of, good with Scorpion, good with utility for every single character on the cast, and is one of my favorite cameos to use as well in the game. Just very 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 strong cameo. All right, Mavado. Mavado is also an S tier cameo, in my humble opinion. I think Mavado is going to be right here, above Scorpion, and we'll move Scorpion back one. Maybe Serena, like right up here. Yeah, I think that looks better. I'm losing my voice, guys. Yeah, I think Mavado just being able to combo launch off any touch is ridiculous. You can kind of just option select it off anything. You just mash your cameo button forward and up with Mavado on any sort of string, and you will get a combo conversion from that. So you're able to do sweep combos with Reptile Ghostface, right? You're able to, you can do mixed set play situations. If you have a command throw, you have full bar of Mavado. You get throw combos with the mine on defense. Also, if you know they're going to try and advance and take their turn, you can call mine if you have full Mavado. And then if they take their turn, they're going to get hit by mine, and then you just get a full combo for it. So that's really good. Low kick on Oki, just closing out rounds if they're not expecting it, or keeping them in a situation where they have to block, is really, really good utility with everybody on the cast. So yeah, that's why I'm going to put Mavado in S tier, just able to combo with everybody able to play defense well, and yeah, it's just a really, really, really strong cameo. Tremor is a good cameo. As good as these other cameos, I'm not sure. It depends. It's really character dependent, and that's why he's gonna be like right here for me. I'm gonna put him below Jax actually. Yeah, I think Tremor's just an okay cameo, right? You have to switch between, and if you do land a hit, you know you don't want to necessarily confirm. He does have a combo launcher with his up rock punch, right, which is really good. But you're mainly going to see Tremor with characters like Reiko. You can use him with Ghostface as like a command grab. You can do the same thing you do with Reiko, right? You can do rolling rock and try and jump in and do overhead low stuff. Armor, I think crystalline armor is probably one of the weakest things about Tremor actually. Like, yeah, you can walk them down, but like if they have a string that is just going to keep interrupting, like they just have their turn. So um, that's why Tremor's in A tier for me. Just a okay cameo. Farah is still an S tier cameo. Yeah, still strong with say Homelander, say Scorpion. Uh, a lot of the Natara, Katana. You can use Farah with a lot of the casts that have sort of airborne moves that put them there. Johnny Wright. You can use Farah with a lot of them. Gives you plus 50 health and is just really strong. Has a command throw when she's on your back, just to sort of mix it up. You have a safe overhead and a somewhat safe low that is safe when you are far away. That you can use to combo extend or start your combo, literally. Farah carries, right? Farah is the one that's going to get your offense going for, say, Scorpion, right? And she is just, there's little to no scaling on that. So very strong S tier cameo, in my opinion. I don't think she's changed much. Even though they made the low -10, it doesn't really affect that strategy. Janet Cage. I think Janet is really strong with some characters and just less strong with others, but is still S tier considering that how strong she is with those characters, right? Say Ermac, Noob Saibot, just good with all of them. Katana, even Homelander, right? You can do a lot of stuff. Rain. You can do a lot of stuff with Janet that is insane. You get throw combos with a lot of the cast and Janet. You gets the Sento stance with Janet that is going to allow you to get high damaging combos in certain situations. You can also mix your opponent. You can, if you have Janet's Sento stance in the corner and you throw them, it's just going to shove them, and then you can combo into Janet and get a full combo for that. And then you reset her cooldown by pressing down and your left trigger, whether it be L2, LT, or if you're using the pad, whatever the button is for you. She is going to be able to just mix the opponent in the corner like that if you can get it set up. Yeah, and just her combo extenders are some of the best in the game. They're really fast. So, say Garrus, right, with his mid command throw now, you can mid command throw somebody and combo into Janet, which is some tech that we just saw come out recently. And it's just ridiculous, man. Like this cameo is allowing for some very, very broken things in the game and is amazing, right? Janet Cage is one of the best cameos, and there's a lot of good reasons for it. Chameleon is also going to be S tier. Let's see. Let's put her right here with Farah and Mataro. I think Chameleon's still very, very useful in the meta. You can still do a lot of the stuff you could before, but just you can't do the dumb katana stuff anymore. Jade, if she gets hit, it's consistent that it doesn't come back anymore. So, right, it's a big nerf, right? But the utility that you get, you still get throw combos with katana for a lot of the cast. For some of the cast. Jade Glaive, just, if you're not ready for it, you're going to get caught in neutral. And Melina still gives you mix, right? If you block it, sure, but she's still giving you mix, and that hasn't changed much. So, yeah, overall, I think Chameleon is going to land here in the S tier cameo section. And I think this looks good to me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more content just talking about Mortal Kombat and other games soon. I think I'm going to get into more commentary stuff You know, I won't do too many of these just meta talking videos. I want to get more into just commentary. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.